Yo, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. If you haven't done so already, guys, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. In today's video, I will actually be doing my athlete breakdown and my predictions for the Indy Pro, and I'll be going over the guys who I believe will be the top 6 guys. Now, they'll be blessing Awodibu, Maxx Charles, Flanagan, Charles Griffin, Haywood, and Justin Rodriguez. I had Peter Clancy in my top 6, but he will be unable to make it to the Indy Pro. He said he will be prepping to the New York Pro. And I seen that news over on Mark's Max Muscles channel. So I'm going to go over these guys in no specific order, starting with Blessing Awodibu. Now, as I'm sure many of you guys know, he had a beef with Nick Walker going into last year's New York Pro. And Blessing actually did his pro debut at the Indy Pro where he placed 3rd. To a lot of people, it looked really bad, but for a pro debut, top 3 is pretty good. After that, he went into the New York Pro. He actually dropped the 6th. He came in a little bit more off. Now, him and Haywood are actually 1-1. He beat Dorian in Indy, and Dorian beat him in New York. And it's going to be interesting to see who gets the win of each other here. Now, both of the updates are recent from Blessing Awodibu, well, from within the past 4 weeks of this prep. And his back looks incredible, guys. And I think his back and his arms are probably going to be his 2 best body parts. But it's going to be very hard for him to get an advantage in those body parts against Charles Griffin and Justin Rodriguez, who also excel very, very well in those body parts. But I do have Blessing as one of the top guys in this show. Now, the next guy we're going to talk about is Charles Griffin. This update was posted up by Matt Jansen a couple days ago. Prior to this update, I didn't really expect Charles to push Justin much. I actually had him a little lower, but after this update, really made me move up Charles some on my prediction list. And you guys let me know in the comment section below, what do you guys think about this back double and rear leg spread of Charles Griffin? Will this be competitive enough to stand next to Justin Rodriguez? And here are another bunch of random photos pretty much throughout this prep. And Charles looks pretty good, man. He looks a lot better than he did in Tampa last year. And even with the look last year, he was top 3, you know, next to Ian Valle and Phil Clahar. But I'm very excited to see Charles on this stage. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the best Charles to date. And who knows, guys, maybe he can win it. And the next guy we're going to talk about is Justin Rodriguez, who is the favorite to win this show. The pictures on the outer are from this prep, and the picture in the middle is, of course, from last year's Indy Pro, which was Justin's first pro win. Now, Justin Rodriguez is a top 8 Olympian. Justin is used to doing battle with the top guys. You know, he just placed 2nd to William Bonac at the Boston Pro. So Justin always does battle with the top guys, so it should be a win for him. I wouldn't say an easy win because, you know, we have Charles Griffin, Blessing Awodibu, Maxx Charles. All of those guys look incredible, and Justin has been pretty much prepping since last year's Indy Pro, and he may be a little tired. But Justin just came off bringing his 2 best packages to date, which were at the Arnold Classic and at the Boston Pro. And if Justin Rodriguez was able to hold on to his conditioning to that night show at the Arnold Classic, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard this many, many times. When Justin came out of the Arnold Classic, you maybe could have made an argument for him winning the show. That's how good that he looked. And the next guy we're going to talk about is Haywood. Now, I actually sped this up a little bit because Dorian was taking his time posing. And I watched the interview that he did on the Menace podcast with Dennis James. If you guys don't watch that podcast, definitely check it out. And he seems very, very confident about this showing. You know, he believes he can come in and win. He thinks it's going to be him and Justin as the last 2 guys standing. And Dorian looks great here. And I said in my videos last year that this year he should be coming into his own and placing a little higher. The only thing that I can knock him for in this update is his legs, and it's probably what had him placing a little lower last year. Upper body's pretty good, arms are pretty good, but he needs to bring up the legs a little bit. Dorian is also a bit narrow, but that's genetic, of course, guys. You can't do anything about that. And as I stated in the interview that he did with Dennis James, he seemed very, very confident. So I'm excited to see the package that Dorian brings to this show, and he believes he can win it, guys. So we're going to see this weekend. And the next guy we're going to talk about is going to be Maxx Charles. Now, Maxx is a guy, he could place high, he could place low. Honestly, guys, Maxx doesn't have the best structure. But at this Boston Pro, I realized that Maxx can get hard as nails. So if Maxx comes in on and conditioned, he can definitely catch a lot of the young guys slipping. And I think he will, guys. Boston was probably one of the best versions of Maxx we've seen to date. Some of his better versions were with Milo, so I'm not sure why he doesn't work with him anymore. I actually think Maxx Charles is working with Dennis Wolf now, guys. Don't quote me on that, though. But I'm excited to see him at this show. The finals at Boston was an incredible version of him. And the next guy we're going to talk about is Flanagan. Now, I actually don't know too much about him, but I think he's either owner or part owner of the Flavor Gang, which has all the mutant sauce, Flavor Gang sauce, all of those sauces, guys. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen them on Nick Walker's account or God Sister Nino. But this would actually be his pro debut, and I'm excited to see how he's going to stack up against these guys. He has a great structure. Looks like he's going to come in condition. The only thing is I'm not sure how's he going to stack up with these guys size-wise. And the guy that will be unable to make it to the show, I still want to share photos of him. This is Peter Clancy. Just to let you guys know, I believe I had him in third in my predictions prior to him pulling out of the show, but he did say he will keep prepping for the New York Pro. I'm not sure how he's not able to make it to Indy. I mean, we still have a couple days out, but he has pulled out of the show, guys, and we won't see him. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my top 6 for this show, starting with 6th place, Ross Flanagan. And honestly, I believe Ross can place a lot higher than this. He has structure better than some of these guys, and I'm pretty sure he's going to come in condition. But once again, it's just his pro debut, guys. I'm not sure how he's going to stack up to these guys size-wise. And he is standing to some very big boys, you know, Justin Rodriguez, Blessing, Awodibu, Charles, Griffin. But this will be a great pro debut for him. And in 5th place, I have Dorian Haywood. Originally, I had Dorian a little bit higher. But honestly, guys, just taking a look at his recent updates, his legs just seem a bit small. But once again, he could be depleted, guys, and he could fill them up a lot more for the show. But just off what I'm seeing, I'm going to place him in 5th. And in 4th place, I have Maxx Charles. I would like to place Maxx Charles one spot higher, but I'm not sure if he's going to come in condition or not. At the Boston show, I mentioned that he came in condition at finals, but at prejudging, he was a little bit off. And Maxx doesn't look as good unless he's peeled to the bone. Really hope Maxx can place a little higher than this, though. You know, he's at every show pretty much. And in 3rd place, I have the boogeyman, Blessing Awodibu. Now, Blessing has made some serious improvements from last year, guys. I think Blessing is still going to need to make more improvements if he is going to beat any one of the guys that I have placed ahead of him. Blessing could possibly slide up to 2nd place, I believe, but I don't believe Blessing Awodibu can win this show. Blessing, however, does have a very great structure and a very bright future, guys. Incredibly hard worker. Give him a year or two, and we're all going to be impressed at where Blessing is. I'm sure of it. And in 2nd place, I have Charles Griffin. And in all honesty, guys, if this update was never posted, I may have had Blessing over Charles. But after seeing this, I just think this is going to be too much for a lot of guys. And honestly, after seeing this had me questioning, how is he going to stack up next to Justin Rodriguez? This is a completely different Charles Griffin than we have ever seen, guys, and I'm ready for it. And I'm pretty sure by now you guys have all guessed who the winner is. Shouldn't be any surprise. Justin Rodriguez, coming out the best 2 showings of his career by far, and looking to get a back-to-back win at the Indy Pro and get his 2nd pro win. After this Indy Pro, Justin will also be going to the New York Pro, and I hope he can win this show as well, guys. Justin has an incredible physique, and as I've told you guys multiple times, Justin had a hernia surgery a couple of years ago, which I'm sure affects how much he can control his abs. But Justin is a huge guy, one of the widest guys in our sport, also has one of the best backs. But as always, I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video, man. Also, if you made it this far, there's a new section on YouTube called Super Thanks. It should be by the share button where you can donate to the channel if you want to, guys. Subscribe to the channel. I'm out.